Let's talk about some book series I have read so far this year. Sorry about my cat. She also wants to be in the video. So I will start with these books. I happened to stumble upon this book one day for free at work. I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. And I'm glad I picked it up. Obviously, if you know anything about it, then you understand what these books are about. And I feel like my opinion is probably the same as most people's opinion. You know, it was kind of a ruse at first, and then they fell in love. But I hated the fact, and this is true in all of these books, that these women were brought up to do the one thing, to be a wife, to have kids, but they were so ignorant to how that actually looked, right? It was like you're romanticizing a home and motherhood, but you're not actually doing anything to speak about it. So then are you really mad when ignorance is highlighted on full display, when someone does something that is wrong? Yes, but did they really know better? I don't know. I can't argue that. I mean, maybe I'll help make a whole video about it, but this is just me talking in clips about these. So I really enjoyed this book. And then once I was done with that, I picked up Queen Charlotte, and I love this book. I thought this book was actually better than Duke and I. Queen Charlotte definitely held down the marriage, right? Like, she was the throne. Her husband was the king, but if you read the book or know anything about her husband, he was not ruling anyone. Like, she was almost to a fault that when she became a parent, she didn't know how to transition from being a queen and serving her husband and her country to being a mother and serving her children. Like, and clearly from what I understand from seeing clips of Queen Charlotte, she was phenomenal in this role, but not so phenomenal as being a mother. Again, we romanticize, what it means. We romanticize being a wife and having kids, but we don't really, or they didn't really teach girls how that looks. So, and then I read this, and it was okay. She was literally carving up, or actually her mother was carving up his leg for most of the book. And the end of this book was like, it felt forced to me. Why are you guys arguing about music when you all suck anyway? And then the last series I'm going to talk about is this. This is all I got in this series. I could not go any further. I was like, okay, I'll read Heated Rivalry. Yes, and if you know anything about it, you know it's good. And I was like, oh, let me start with the beginning. And I was like, okay, that's good. And then I got here, and I was like, oh, to me, this, like, these are great stories, but to me, this was like the chef's kiss to me. I just thought these characters were more relatable and just more realistic. And I would honestly rather sit down and have a conversation with these two men than these four men, if I'm being honest. And that was it for me. Maybe I'll